What is going on, everybody? I know. Is this a bigger surprise? Me being the only one here for Survivor After Show on the night of the premiere, or Jenna Lewis going home first? Season one's Jenna Lewis, first one out. Did not see that coming. Like I said, guys, unfortunately, I am alone tonight, and that's not for a lack of trying. I'll be honest with you guys. I reached out to every survivor I know. I reached out to friends, to other former podcast hosts. Everyone's at a freaking premiere party tonight, except for me. But that's okay. The show must go on. So, if you guys are new here, welcome in. This is Reality After Show. Normally, I'm joined with Jonny Fairplay, Survivor Legends Jonny Fairplay. Also, Gabe Ortiz from Survivor 47, Genevieve season. Matt Bischoff from Survivor Caramoan. And, of course, the other great people that we have on the podcast that were not on reality TV, like Wayne Mimit, Lauren Pratt, Philip Solomon from Dondi season 2. They're all usually here joining me for the Survivor After Show. But tonight, it's in the hands of the fans, okay? The hands of the fans of the people of Reality After Show. So if you guys are new here, usually we don't do this. Usually we kind of just commentate ourselves. But because I'm here alone, and if you guys are new to when I live stream and when I go on to talk about Big Brother and other shows, welcome. I read all of your guys' comments live here on stream. So if you have any burning takes from the premiere, and man, do we have some takes from the premiere. Wow. We got a lot to get into, but I will be reading each and every one of your guys' comments live here. You can reach out on YouTube, Reality After Show on YouTube, or you can find me on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby. You can see it right down here below. That's at Goodsby Bobby, but that's for my social media handles. Just twitch.tv/Bobby Goodsby if you want to reach out on there. Any super chats, any subscribes, any likes, any comments are all greatly appreciated. Like I said, I apologize. It's just me tonight. The others will be back next week. No, not so many premiere parties next week, but someone had to be here to run the show. We had to have some kind of content for opening night. So I hope you guys appreciate what I bring to you guys here on the podcast. And I hope you guys can kind of continue the conversation going in the chat so that we have a lot to catch up on, a lot to talk about from this premiere. I mean, what a premiere it was. For those of you that haven't watched Survivor in many years, most of us are all super fans here. Most of us have, continued with the show through thick and thin. This premiere was special. And I really, really liked the beginning sequence, right? Where they were going over all the seasons. And I love how they had like almost a paused moment with Fairplay's, dead grandma lie. I know he was at that premiere party just taking it all in, being like, this is my moment. Because they definitely hung on that one for a second, which was cool to see. But it was cool to see the history of the show. I do like that they had that as part of the intro sequence. Was it a bit long? Maybe. But I'm not going to complain. Like, at the end of the day, this is the 50th season. They're putting out all the content. And they're kind of giving a small recap to people that haven't tuned in all these years later and are coming back for Survivor's 50 to see, people they haven't seen in many years. Or maybe they're like, you know what? This is the 50th season. I got to go check it out. So I did appreciate that brief rundown of everything that has happened over the years. We get to them on the beach, and man, you could just feel it, right? In that moment, like, you can say whatever you want. We've said plenty on this podcast about the actual casting choices for 50. This cast has kind of grown on me over the last, I'd say, a couple months now, especially with all the promos leading into 50, right? And then all the pregame interviews, the special segments we get. I thought that this cast has definitely formed into something that I'm like, okay, even though it wasn't perfect, I'm excited for. I'm excited for 50. I'm excited to see a returning season, which we haven't had since Survivor 40, Winners at War. I mean, if you want to count Bruce as a returnee, I guess you can count that. But that, a true returnee season. So I was excited for it. And I thought tonight's episode, I'll be honest with you guys, I think it's the best premiere I possibly have ever seen. I love that they went a different direction. Yes, it was 3 hours. It was long. Like, it never really felt like it didn't pace well, though. At moments, did it linger a little bit? Sure. But I feel like for me, the majority of the time, I was well entertained all the way through. I thought they had great character development. I thought the way that they segmented the show, where the first, first 2 hours were essentially a full episode, right? You got a big lead in at the beginning that, was very long, but had a lot of power to it. And then it was basically like a full episode. And by the time it was like, what, 7, I'm on West Coast time, so you got to understand, I'm talking West Coast time over here. When it was like 7 o'clock and we're already at Tribal Council, I was like, we have a whole nother hour left. Like, what are they going to do with the second part or the third part of this 3-hour premiere? Because we're going to get through this vote out in no time. And sure enough, we had the vote out of, Jenna Lewis, Survivor 1's Jenna Lewis, and there was still like 40 minutes left in the episode. I was like, where are we going with this? I'm very interested to see how this pans out, because it's not enough time to have like another full episode / vote out. That wouldn't make sense. And I thought it had to do something with possibly, Kyle's injury. I thought that Kyle's injury, maybe they're going to do a long version of that. But I was like, that's still way too much time, even for just a leg injury, or I guess Achilles injury is what we came to find out. So I was like, what else are they going to include? I loved it. I loved that the final part of the episode, and I'm not saying do this all the time, but I love that the final part of the episode wasn't just the vote out where we're like, okay, next time on, now what we got. It was really basically like a first half of an episode that we normally get on the next episode. So we kind of already got through that. So I'm curious to where it's going to start for next week. I just loved it so much because you had, even though we don't love the journeys, I thought that with this group, I'm willing to see past it and see how the journeys pan out, which I kind of like the whole part of Savannah not having to reveal the information that she got, an advantage at the end. Once Colby left, they gave it to her. I did like that. But I also like that we got more tribe dynamics even after the vote out had happened. So I just think that it was really good. It was really smooth. It kept me entertained because I was like, okay, what else are they going to fit in this last 40 minutes of airtime? And I thought they packed in a lot in that 40 minutes. So I thought it was really good. So before we start really talking about the episode and breaking it all down, I'm going to read some of your guys' comments here. All right. Anthony White says, God, we were so fucking close to not having a celeb mention. I mean, did we really think we were going to get through the entire night without some sort of celebrity twist? Like, they've been pushing that narrative since they showed us a preview at the end of 49 that the celebs, celeb idols or celeb mentions or what have you, were going to be a big part of this season. So I kind of figured we would get something, but I didn't expect the Billie Eilish boomerang idol to play a factor. The weird part was I was not expecting Genevieve to be the one that found it, right? And then for her to give it to Ozzy, of all people, I found it strange. I thought it was a good move on her part, but the reason why I was so confused is literally in the edit at the end of 49, the promo for season 50, they show Devins talking about the Billie Eilish idol, excuse me. So does that mean there's another Billie Eilish idol out there that Devins finds? Does Ozzy get eliminated and somehow they find out about it? Is it something that plays a factor later on down the line? It's so weird. It was strange that if you knew that the first person to mention the boomerang idol was going to be in episode 1, it was going to be Genevieve. I mean, I guess it is a good way to mislead, but it was strange that now we all know Devins eventually either finds one or is involved in one, or somehow it comes back to Devins, because it was very strange. So I think that the celebrityness of it all will definitely play a factor in pretty much at least the first part of the season. So it will be interesting to see how it pans out. We'll get more on that here in a bit. So CGP Northside says Jenna first boot really was a gut punch. Literally no reason to keep Suri after that first tribal. I'll be honest. When I was watching it, I was rooting for Suri. It's Suri, guys. At the end of the day, it's Suri. Like, I understand she played poorly in that first opening immunity challenge, like really bad. But we've seen her do that in the past. The thing is, that's never been Suri's strong suit. Everyone knows if you have Suri on their team, her strong suit is never going to be challenges. Her strong suit's always going to be social relationships with people and her strategic mastermind. It's very dangerous. If I were these people, 100%, I would want to get her out. I'd be totally on board with that. I think we have a lot of information in this episode on who's running things on that tribe. One, I think Cirie has a little more sway than what we saw in this episode. Yes, she seemed to be on the rocks, but I think Christian Hubicki has a big hand on this season. I think he has a big hand on this tribe because everyone else was talking either Cirie or Ozzy. The one person outside of Cirie and Ozzy that was really pushing for Jenna Lewis was Christian. And Christian was talking with everybody. So I really feel like Christian might have more of a sway on this tribe than even the edit led us to believe. And the edit even really suggested that might be the case. It really said to us, hey, Christian is really well liked. We saw Devins want to play with him. We saw Emily want to play with him. We saw Cirie and Ozzy want to play with him. Like, Christian is in a prime position. So it was very interesting to see that. I wanted to see Cirie continue to play just because I love Cirie. And as much it was as cool as it was to see Jenna Lewis back out there, right? We haven't seen her since All-Star. She's from season 1, for crying out loud. It's so cool to see that representation. And I hated seeing a, old school player go out first. I really wish it would have been one of the new era people. But having said that, I thought she played very sloppy. She was throwing out names before there was ever a case to be made that they would be going to tribal council. And secondly, Jenna was playing balls to the wall, even in the preseason, right? Like, we saw a lot of it in her preseason interviews, how she was just, a firecracker. She was like ready to go out there and cause carnage. However, I really think that once she got to the island, I think it rubbed people the wrong way because it felt like she was coming in too hot. And I think people were even able to pick up on that before the season started. So I think that while Cirie was detrimental in the fact of how she performed in the challenge, and, we all know what she can be, I think a lot of these people just really love Cirie and want Cirie out there. And with Jenna playing as hard as she could and Christian advocating for Cirie, I think that all played a big factor. So like I said, guys, get your comments in here. I'm going to read everyone's comments live. So I'm going to start catching up. There's a lot of comments in here. So I'm going to start catching up right now. If you really want something pushed forward, I will read super chats first, but I will go in order after that. So if you want to add to a super chat, let me know. Just go and put it in. If not, no big deal. I will get to your comments. Just might take a little time. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Next week, we will have pretty much everyone here. I won't be here the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be going to Disneyland with the kiddo next week. And the week after that, I'll be at the Rob Has a Podcast live show in LA. So if you guys are going to the Rob Has a Podcast live show in LA in March 11th, check out, look up for me. Go say hi. If you see me there, come say what's up. I'd love to meet you guys. Love to see, the people that are avatars on my screen. I'd love to see you guys in real life. So if you see me there, message me on social media. Let me know you'll be there, and we'll definitely meet up and say hello. Looking forward to that. So I'll be gone the next 2 weeks, but everyone else should, for the most part, should be back, or we will have guests here as well, former survivors. And I might have a guest joining me late. Depends. Still waiting to hear back from them. I don't want to put it out there because I don't know for a fact it'll happen, but we'll see. Kyle was in such a good position. Also, huge bummer, says CGP. I agree. I completely agree. I think that Kyle was in such a way better position than I would have ever imagined he'd be in, especially being a winner, the most recent winner that they've seen out there on the island. He was in such a good spot. He had a strong core. I feel like that whole dynamic's going to be completely different now, right? Because Kyle was really the centerpiece to the Colby, oh my gosh, Q, even though Q was kind of like the fifth of it all. Who else am I forgetting? Who else was in that group? Genevieve and oh my gosh, I might as well pull the cast up even though I know this cast. I don't know why I'm blanking on names. But yeah, no, he was the centerpiece of that cast, and it really shocked me to see him like obviously go out this early. And I loved how they actually showed the full injury and how it happened. He was so ramped up, ready to go. It just sucks that that's the way he went out. But now I think the fact that one, Genevieve, yes, Stephanie LaGrossa. Thank you. I don't know why I was blanking on Stephanie LaGrossa's name. So with those four, especially, and Q as the fifth on the outside, I was really shocked to see one, Colby lost his vote. Q lost his vote. And then you had Genevieve, who found an idol but doesn't even get to keep it. It's a boomerang idol, so hopefully they'll come back to her. And now they lost Kyle. So essentially that 5-person group now only has 2 votes. Like realistically, they only have 2 votes, and they just lost one of their most important pieces. I think it's going to be brutal for them going forward. And it gives the people like Aubrey a chance where they might not have had a chance. Angelina, who we saw very little of, surprisingly, in this episode. I feel like she might be someone who was on the outs because she was definitely not mentioned in anyone's alliance. So I think she might have been in the outs as well, too. All right. So I think it gives those people even more an opportunity. Chrissy looks bad this episode. She didn't look that great, like as far as like gameplay. Like as far as gameplay goes, I mean, she looks great as a person. She's doing great. I think I'm so glad to see her out there, and to see her with that huge smile on her face, playing this game that she loves. But as far as the way she's gaming, I don't know if I like it. I don't want to rule it out because we didn't get to see a lot of that tribe when it comes to the social dynamics. With her side of like the people she's trying to pull in, but I wasn't that impressed. I will give you that. Not Savannah having a great episode. For all those 49 haters, this was a tragic episode for you because at first it didn't look good for your boy Rizgod. Colby at the very beginning be like, that kid's annoying as shit or whatever he said. I was like, oh, this is gonna make all the 49 haters so happy to hear. And then like later in the episode, he's completely turned full circle on Rizzo. I thought it was cinema, as Rizzo would say. I did like the fact that we got to see Rizzo's arc turn around a little bit because I like Rizzo. I think there's some people that do like Rizzo, and I want to see how he does. I want to see him cook, as he would say also. DM Rocks, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you again. Guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll read all your guys' comments here live on screen. I'm catching up on them now. Dia Nicole 21 says, I can't believe Jenna was the first boo. I had her on my team in literally every Survivor draft I'm in. I feel for you. I was excited to see Jenna out there, especially like we said, we haven't seen her since All-Stars. But I said it earlier and I'll say it again. She just played so hard so quickly when I feel like she could have easily sat in the background. And I know that's not how she wanted to play her game, and I totally understand. You're on 50. You want to go guns a-blazing. You go guns a-blazing. Was it right with this particular group? I don't think so. I just think that obviously if you're playing more behind the scenes than actually in front and throwing names out early, I think it's more beneficial for you. More beneficial to ask, what do you guys think, than it is to be like, this is what we got to do. And I think that on any season. Tig says, Devins for the win. I mean, Devins is surprisingly in a good spot. I thought Devins would be in a terrible spot going into the season, but he's been in a pretty decent spot. So I'm happy to see it. I love his relationship with with Christian. I love to see him and Christian be a team, and I think that they could be so powerful together as long as they can keep it together. I really want to see that happen. What's up, Kate the Great? Great episode, though. I agree. I think this was one of the best opening episodes of any premiere we've ever seen. I think 50 is going to live up to the hype. Oh God, Humane's here talking fantasy championship, of course. Kyle Medevac was so sad. I know, and you could tell he really wanted to stay in there too. He really did not want to go. He wanted to continue playing this game. For a second there, I thought maybe if it's just a partial tear, maybe they'll keep letting him play. And he did seem to be getting better, but I think they made the right call. Like you could see the mobility issue when they were working on his calves to see how his foot would strain. I kind of felt that when I saw it too, when it wasn't like him in agonizing pain, but he couldn't put any pressure. I was like, ooh, I've watched way too much football. That looks like an Achilles. I was hopeful it wasn't. I was hopeful it was just a sprain, but I was like, the way he's can't put any pressure down on it and he's not in agonizing pain makes me feel like it has something to do with the Achilles. And when Dr. Joe came out there and kind of, proved that, I was like, I don't think he's going to be able to make it. I mean, you just don't want to ruin your life for this, right? Like, you obviously they're so early into the game. If it was day 26, 25, even maybe you let him play it out, like get through one challenge. But he's got the whole time left out there. Like, it's just not worth his future health to do this, to continue on. Cirie for the win. I mean, I think Cirie's in a rough spot right now. I really do, guys. Like, but it's Cirie. You can never count her out. We all know that even when she's got her back against the wall, she'll be there pushing and fighting and doing what she can and creating those social dynamics that make her so powerful. I want to see how she can get to the end. I think it's going to be a very much so uphill journey. Also, love the fact that Ozzy's like all in on playing with Cirie. It honestly feels like Ozzy might be willing to give up his game for Cirie. And as a fan of Cirie and as a fan of Ozzy to an extent, I'm here for it because I feel like these old school players that have come so close and just never crossed the hump and really like given it their all and have had so many, close encounters with the win. I think they'll be happy with any of them winning, right? Like your Aussies, maybe not Coach after what we've seen through the first episode. It kind of started like it was going to lean that way, but I don't know now. Your Cerise, hell, even your Colbys to an extent, your Aubreys. I think that there's a lot of old school players that want to see those people take it to the next level and get the win after it's all said and done. Also, was anyone shocked? I kind of thought that at the beginning of the episode, when they're all out there talking to Jeff right there on the sand, I thought Jeff was going to say, hey, and since it's our 50th season, we're doing it for $2 million. Like, I thought for sure we had like a $2 million prize coming. Like, we know Mr. Beast is coming with the briefcase at some point, and Mr. Beast is known for I had to fix my screen. The lavish amounts of money he likes to give out on Beast games and what have you, and on his YouTube channel. So I feel like there's going to be some kind of cash prize there to either quit the game or do something. But I really thought, since it's the 50th season, you have so many big names out there, I thought Survivor was going to, give him a little extra coin for the top prize. But maybe it'll still happen. Maybe we'll see. But last time we saw him that happen, it was on season 40, Winners at War, where they told him right off the bat, this is for $2 million. So if we were going to get it, it might have been there. Does Jen get to give it away again? Genevieve. So what happens is, and correct me if I'm wrong, so she gives away the boomerang idol to someone on a different tribe, either someone she, wants to work with in the future, or someone that she thinks will go home with that in their pocket. And if they don't use it and they go home, it gets boomerang back to her. And now she has the idol till final 5 or whenever she wants to play it. But that was my interpretation of the rules. If you guys think I'm wrong there or misread it, you guys let me know in the comments. Cirie won the episode. Absolutely. Cirie was definitely the hero of the episode because Cirie was the biggest target to go home, one of the biggest targets on their back to begin with to start the season, and still somehow survived. Now, I kind of think Christian Hibiki might have been the hero of the episode, but I think Cirie's right there. I absolutely agree. I can't lie. I was kind of hoping they were going to go with the Ozzy vote. Ozzy has brought so much that first episode. I felt like it would be a good arc for Ozzy if he did kind of go home in this episode, because like we saw him, he looked really good in the challenge. It looked like he was going to win, right to start to get all the tribe supplies. And sure enough, Coach snuck it out from under him, which I don't blame Coach. You don't owe Ozzy anything. Everyone's out there to compete. Like, I kind of hated that Ozzy was like, hey, let's not go for it if someone's got it or takes it down and pulls it forward. Like, this is a game for $1 million, or possibly more. Who knows? Like, you guys aren't guaranteed you'll get another time out there. You guys are on your 4th and 5th times playing. Like, go for it. Like, if I were Coach, I would absolutely steal that thing and bring that home to my tribe. So I don't blame him in the least for taking advantage of that opportunity. But why keep that? Oh, you're talking about the whole Suri of it all. I think that for the people that are there that see the value in having someone like Suri there, like an Aussie, like a Christian, I think that the narrative to keep the known entity over Jenna, who's playing extremely hard and extremely volatile, at the end of the day, I think that's why. I think that's why they went that route. Where can I watch for free? I don't know. I'm West Coast time. But I do pay for a service to be able to watch the East Coast feed. I think it's like $4 an episode or every for 24 hours. So I pay for every episode so I can be able to be here immediately after the East Coast airing with you guys. So I don't know where you could watch it for free. Someone else might be able to help you out in the comments. But for me, I watch it on a service that I just paid $3.99 so I can watch East Coast feed and not have to catch up way later being on the West Coast. Swim to Fiji. Yep, that's your best chance. CBS Paramount with ads is $5.99. Yeah, the only problem with that, if you are on the West Coast, even I have Paramount Plus, I can't watch the episodes on the East Coast. Now, I know people say you can use a geo tracker thing or whatever. I've tried that in the past. Does not work. They have ways around it somehow. So for me, I use this site called US TV Now, and I pay $3.99 every Wednesday and you get it for 24 hours, and that's how I'm able to watch East Coast feed. So hopefully that doesn't go away now that I've learned that information or given that out. But US TV Now, that's where I pay to watch the episode. All right. At Kevin Fox says, first 2 hours were great, and then we got to see Colby and Savannah play Jenga for 10 minutes. I didn't love it, and I obviously did not love the premise of all you do is either lose your vote or keep your vote. And then what was the point of having Mike White out there? Like, he just was like, all right, well, now I just have to go back instantly, and is anyone going to believe me? I want to see how that panned out when he went back and had nothing to show for it and was just like, yeah, I just drew rocks and I had to come back. Like, who's going to believe that? But, I mean, I think maybe he just was able to divert it by saying the whole coach stuff about what Ozzy and other players like Colby had said about that encounter when they were on trying to battle for tribe supplies. Maybe that took precedence over Mike White's story. I don't know, but I did think that was a little funky. And I liked that they had a twist at the end where Colby leaves, Savannah's still there, and that's when they give her the advantage. I did appreciate that because I'd rather these players not have these advantages in the open and are able to keep a secret. Do I think she handled it well when she went back to the tribe? No, but if maybe she tells one or two people in the next episode that she really trusts, hey, this is actually what happened, I might feel better about it. But people like Devins were really sniffing her out. All right. DM Rock says, Coach stealing the key from Ozzy was funny. I mean, it was great. It was so good to see that Coach is out there playing hard. And I absolutely think that Coach is going to be a huge character. I mean, he's always a huge character. It's Coach, one of the best characters of all time when it comes to Survivor. But I think he's going to play even more of a factor this season than we've even seen in the past. Like, I think Coach is in it for the long haul. I just want to see so many Coach antics. I really hope this isn't even the last time we see Coach. Do I think Coach is winning it all? Absolutely not. But I really think seeing Coach go far on season 50 would be such a nice little, bow on his career as a Survivor player. Oh, we're not talking about the Vikings. Okay, I get it. They suck. Reverse Jenga. Yeah, it was kind of like reverse Jenga. At first, I had no idea what they were playing. I was like, what are they trying to do here? Because I didn't really listen to the rules. And it was just like, yeah, Jenga, essentially. It was a weird competition. Like, they're not all going to be hits. Let's be weird. Let's be real. Like, they're not all going to be hits, but I was expecting a little bit more out of that competition between Colby and God, why am I blanking on everyone's name? She just won last season. I'm just pulling the cast up now because otherwise I'm going to be pissed off at myself for continuing to forget people's names. Savannah. Sorry, guys. Savannah. And I know Savannah's name, too. I don't know why I was blanking. All right, so let's get to some more comments real quick. Thank you for helping me with Stephanie earlier. I get it. You beat the Vikings every time. All right, Tig says at Malcolm, Malcolm should be here instead of Ozzy. I agree, man. I love me some Malcolm, and we haven't seen Malcolm in a long time, but it's Ozzy. At the end of the day, like I'm fine with either. But I do agree with you. I wish Malcolm was out here, especially since we haven't seen him since Game Changers, and I feel like his Game Changers game, he kind of got screwed over. So I would love to see Malcolm, 3 or 4.0 at this point. So give me Malcolm again, hopefully in a future season. All right. So he says, "Hey Bobby, this episode is a bummer, but I think Joe is in a good spot." Joe's in a great spot. And I don't even think this episode was a bummer. I thought it was a fun episode. I thought it was a good premiere. And I was really excited to see, the 50th season. How is it all going to play out? Am I ready for all the celebrity idols? No. I think all the celebrity stuff is going to be very frustrating the further we go in. But I'll let it play out. I'll let them cook. Let me see what happens. Let me not judge it purely off of my animosity for the celebrity endorsements. But at the end of the day, I do think Joe is in a very good spot. I think he's got a good core. I think that people know Joe's game. Joe was just on the season that they all last saw. So they know that Joe is someone that's going to prove his loyalty. He's going to find his people and stick with his people and represent his people through thick and thin. So I think Joe was already in a good spot going into this game for someone who could easily, if he plays more strategic, can win the game. And we're seeing him play strategic, but he also has to build on his social ability. That's always been the struggle for Joe, where people like Joe, but people don't respect his game because it's all too loyalty based. He needs to be more strategic. He needs to build those social cues with people. So I'm excited to see how it pans out for him. Savannah won an advantage because she beat Colby and Jenga. 49 haters are really pissed right now. 100% they are. They're pissed because a 49er didn't go home instantly. And they're pissed because Savannah, who prior to coming back and people kind of sniffing out that she must have some kind of advantage, like thank God she had some advantage because she would have been screwed if she came back with nothing and had one. But I think there's a lot of 49er haters that are just don't want to see those people out there. And I don't feel like that's fair to them. Like, whatever. If it were you and you got on 49 and you were able to play Survivor and you did well, and Survivor asked you to come back for their 50th season right after you played for another shot at $1 million, you're telling me you wouldn't take it? Like, I don't blame the players at all. Take every opportunity. You might not ever get a call again. So I absolutely feel for the 49ers and the fact that they are so fresh and so new that people hate the fact that they're there because they took away a spot from one of their, people that they wanted to see more from the past and maybe has earned it more, especially since Savannah just won. I don't disagree with you, but that's not the players' fault. The players aren't at fault for taking the opportunity. That's more on casting. That's more on production for having it so new era heavy and so heavy on just the last 2 seasons alone. We have 5 people out there, now 4, but originally 5 people from just 2 seasons, the 2 newest seasons. That's obviously an issue. Am I right? I feel Colby is phoning it in. He's playing like he don't care. But I kind of want to see that version of Colby, right? Like I think Colby is in a situation where he's kind of just excited to be there. And at the end of the day, I don't think he's phoning it in completely because he's out there trying to form alliances. He's got his core people. Now, is it working out very well for him right now? No, not so much. But if everything goes according to plan, Colby's in a great spot. But once again, just like in Heroes vs. Villains, it's just like Colby just it puts himself in a situation where he's all in on some people and immediately they start either get taken out or like now we see him starting to get disadvantages in the game. So it is unfortunate to see for Colby, but I think Colby's fine. I think Colby, out of all those people, is someone I'm not overly concerned. And it just feels like he's just happy to be there. Like at first he seemed like he wasn't thrilled about the idea of going back, but he felt like he had to. Now it's like you can see the smile on his face, and I feel like he's just excited to play the game. Like his whole interaction with Rizzo really made me just like smile from ear to ear because I I felt it was very, heartfelt from Colby too. And he's able to, something we haven't seen in the past with Colby is his ability now to be like, I was wrong. Like, I feel like with Colby in past seasons, we've seen a younger version of him where he won't ever admit when, he misplayed or he did something wrong. It's always like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Why are these people not wanting to work with me, et cetera, et cetera. He originally didn't like Rizzo, and then he kind of came around to the idea that Rizzo's not so bad. Like, you can see the change there, but I want to see it progress through the season. Thank you for your comment. Get your comments read live here on stream. I'm catching up on them right now. Q would say it's a big mistake for them to keep Kyle in the game. I mean, I think Q was really pissed. I think he had a pregame alliance with Kyle. Like, Kyle, he seemed to go to Kyle and gravitate towards Kyle right away, where he was like, we're two guys locked in, and he wasn't there to develop the core four early on. But I think that he saw a big part of his game is having Kyle there, having another big physical threat, and someone who had won, who might be a target ahead of him, as somebody who he wanted to work with. And I think to have Kyle getting taken out of the game is a big hit to Q's game, especially since he doesn't have a vote, which I was shocked Q was willing to give up his vote to bring the tribe supplies for Ozzy. I thought that was weird. And did I miss it? Did we get a moment where Q explained why he was able to bring the stuff and that revealed to the people in his alliance that means Ozzy has an extra vote? Did we see that? I don't know. I don't know if we saw that, but we'll find out as the season progresses. You think the Billie Eilish boomerang advantage was lame? It's not my favorite. It's not. I mean, I see what they're trying to do there. It's different. They're trying something else, but it really does not. It's not advantageous for the person that finds it at all. Like, everything has to go extremely right for that to work out. And when you're so early on in the process, like, it's one thing if the boomerang idol was there at the merge, or even at a tribe swap, that would make more sense for the Billie Eilish boomerang idol to be in play, because then at least who's on the outs and where the tribe dynamics lie or who's in trouble. Where I feel like then if someone who's an ally to you goes in a tribe swap situation and has the numbers against them, you can use that as a lifeline for them to save them. And excuse me, sorry, I'm still dealing with the cold. If on this counter side of that, if someone is in a lot of trouble and is probably going to go home soon, I mean, even then they could just use the idol. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scenario where it works out. That's why it's not like the perfect advantage, right? Like, even if someone's going to go, if you send them an idol and they use it, you never get it back. So you're really banking on them pulling an absolute, Lucy with the football types of situation with Charlie Brown, where they just don't play their idol and they get taken out with the idol in their pocket. Like, that's such a unique situation that it's really not advantageous for the person that finds it, like a Genevieve, because the chance of it coming back to you are so minimal. They'd have to be blindsided, or you're just strictly using it to protect your own. That's the only way it's advantageous for you. And we're so early on. How will we ever know? Like, they'll never know who's in the outs, like who's, someone that's got a target on their back. They don't have any allies on those sides. That's why I think it's better at a tribe swap, at least. I thought they may have done what they did on 40, where Jeff said right before challenge started that it was for immunity. But I guess not. I mean, let me read that again. I thought they may have done what they did on 40, where Jeff said right before the challenge started that it was for immunity, but I guess not. Yeah, I mean, I think the beginning, when they are all there like they did with 40, I thought they were going to do more. Like I said, with the money, I thought they'd do more. I don't know if it was how it all played out is exactly how I thought it would play out, but I didn't think it was bad. I just think it was different than what I thought going into the season that it would all pan out. What's up? Don't bite your tongue. What's going on, man? Good to see you again, Tommy. All right. Strongest premiere episode ever. I agree with you. I think it was a very strong premiere. I think people brought it I think we got to see tribe dynamics. We got to see character development. We got to see who's working together. We got to see idols being moved around. We saw advantages moved around. Now, the one caveat, and I'm not against idols. I'm not against advantages. I do think it adds to the gameplay and makes it at least more fun for us viewers at home. The one caveat is we are very early in the season, and through one episode, which was really like 1.5 episodes, we are basically setting up for an advantage get-in 2.0. Does it not feel that way? We had 2 people lose their vote. One person has an extra vote. That same person has an idol. Someone found a boomerang idol that then got sent to that other person. Like, there's just so many. Oh, then Savannah got an still a vote or something like that. So like, I'm a super fan, and we're 1.5 episodes essentially through, and I can't even keep track of what all advantages there are through one episode. Like, we are really setting up for, if it continues to snowball like this, and I'm hoping it's just the first episode and we get less of that as we go, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be that way. Are we snowballing into the worst possible scenario again? And Sari, eventually getting that happen to her 2.0 with advantage get in. But it's early in the process. I'm holding out hope that's not the case, but it does feel a little too advantagey, especially when we've seen so much through one episode. All right, let's see. Genevieve is fine as shit. I know that you always have your types, but I agree with you on this one. She is definitely a beautiful woman. Kyle, Genevieve, Q, Stephanie, and Colby would have been such a strong alliance. Now they're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. And I said this earlier. We already lost Kyle due to injury. Genevieve found an idol but had to give it away. Q lost his vote. Colby lost his vote. And Stephanie is just there and hasn't had any problems or good things happen to her. Like, talk about as bad as things can go in one episode for one tribe or for one alliance as a whole. Literally, like, the worst possible outcome for this alliance through one episode we possibly have ever seen. Lose one of your core members, probably the biggest glue between everyone there in Kyle. Genevieve literally finds an idol, says that she never finds stuff, even though she found the buoy in her season, so I don't know what she's talking about there. But Genevieve finds an idol, doesn't even get to keep it. Q loses his vote, which that's on him. He could have easily got the extra vote. I feel like he could have, leveraged that a bit more. And then Colby just goes to this, to this island to play in reverse Jenga, and essentially loses his vote because he loses the game. He would have been better pulling the white rock than he was going and playing this game. Just absolute crash and burn for this tribe. But I'm happy for the other people on this tribe because now they're, they might have had their death certificates already written, and now it's very much so those are in the shredder because they have an absolute opportunity to do something now. Q changes his mind 67 times a day. It's very true. It's very true. Q is someone who's always going to be a dynamic player, but he's playing a more low-key version. Like this season so far, from what we've seen, he's definitely played more low-key. So I want to see if Q has been able to realize how he comes across and right the mistakes that he's made in the past. Will it continue? I don't know. But I think he's, at least from what we've seen, going in a better direction than what we saw him do on his first season. So you said you think Mike White is on steroids? I mean, Mike is shredded. Did anyone have that on their bingo card that Mike White would come into the season with a 6-pack? Because my God, good for him. Good for him. But that's never been Mike's strong suit. But at least now he doesn't look like someone that's going to be a hindrance in challenges and stuff. I mean, he is one of, I think, is he the oldest one there? He's either the oldest or one of the oldest ones there. And by God, I mean, good for him. We see celebrities in the past play reality TV shows and play these games, and they just come in ill-prepared, not knowing what they're doing. He's learned a lot from his first season, and he realized, okay, I want to be in shape and be ready to go. So kudos to him for putting in the work to get his body to where he wants it to be. But I remember in his preseason interview, he was talking about how he's like, I've been working out, I've been doing all this. And then I saw Jonathan and said, oh, never mind. It was all for nothing. Agreed. Secret advantage for Sav was good. Yeah, I did like the fact that they hid that. Like, I hate when it's like, oh, okay, we're going on a journey and you guys are going to compete and one person will get this advantage. So now everyone knows what the advantage is, or that you're going to get an advantage. They made it seem like nobody was getting anything, which I thought was super weird. I was like, there's got to be a catch. But I love that she got it in private. Like, that was the best thing to see. Like, do that every time. Do that every time. Or they don't know it's coming. Or they get it later or something. I think Mike White has a personal trainer and lots of leisure time. Well, absolutely. Like, when you're living on White Lotus money, I think he's not hurting by any means. So I think he can afford the personal trainer and has the time to put in the work. But good for him for doing it. Like, he didn't have to do it. I hate seeing Aubrey, Camilla, Tiffany, and Emily on season 50. They bring nothing to the show. It's one episode. Sometimes a lot of these characters, don't get to get the screen time right off the bat, but maybe they pan out later. I mean, look at Genevieve on her season. Genevieve was really a background character to Rome, who she was working with early on in the season. And then she kind of stayed a background character for a lot of the season. And then towards the end, completely came into her own. So sometimes you just got to let them cook. I mean, it's so early on. They tried to show a lot, but obviously they're going to leave some of the editing on the table for some of these players. I don't think it's a good thing for their longevity in the game. However, someone like Aubrey, who we know what she can do, Emily got a little bit of a character arc. I think Camilla and Tiffany, maybe not so much, but they didn't really need to show a lot from that tribe just yet. But everyone got a little bit of something. I just think let them cook, give them time. Maybe that just wasn't part of the edit for the first episode. Like, I don't ever want to count anyone out on a returnee season after one episode just because there's so many characters to cover. But it's not great for their longevity, if you know what I mean. I just think that in a newbie season, absolutely, I think you can count on the edit right away based off of who's getting airtime and who's not. But with these returnees, it's a little bit different. I think you got to give it a little bit of time to let them, feed out the major storylines, the major characters, and the possible people going home or on the outs, and then everyone else kind of gets their edit along the way. It's just I don't know why it is, but I feel like most times it is better on the returning seasons. 14 times I didn't beat the Vikings. They lost before I got to beat them. God damn it, Humane. I get it. Agree with you, Bobby, about having Colby leave and then secret advantage for Sav. It's a good twist. And yeah, she did a horrible job of covering it up. Rick sniffed it out right away. Thing is, she could have easily done this to perfection on season 49. But when you have all these people out there that are, played this game, they're returning. Some of them haven't played in so long. This is their opportunity to finally come back. They're going to use everything against you. Plus, they've watched way more seasons than most people, not all, coming into their first season have ever watched. A lot of recruits, a lot of people that are just post-COVID watchers, maybe only watched a few seasons, said I'll apply and somehow got on the show. But there's a lot of these people that, are on this season, and maybe not all of them have kept on it, but people like Rick Devens, Christian Hubicki, they all have been watching and waiting and know how to play this game, that they're able to sniff that stuff out right away. So I'm interested to see when it does come back around, because I will at some point in the next episode, either them continuing to talk about Savannah being a target or her going up to the people that she trusts and letting them know exactly what happened. I don't think Savannah keeps this completely to herself. I don't think in a season like this, you can do that, especially when you went out there and how you explained it is you won and you didn't get anything. It's just too fishy. You got to at least tell somebody. I wasn't very pleased with the cast a bit, but I think Rizzo and Savannah from 49 is a fun element for the unknown factor, and they're both great TV. I agree. And like I said, guys, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, it's not their fault they got the call. If it were you, you would take every opportunity to play this game. It's just so worth it to possibly better your life or your family's lives, and then also just if you want to think about it, the social aspect of it, your name being out there in front of the masses, which can open up opportunities outside the game. I definitely think that is a factor. So I don't blame them. I just think that we definitely have way too much new era. I'm catching up on the comments. So get your guys' comments read live here. If there's something you want to talk about from the episode, anything that you observed, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, this is Reality After Show. Jonny Fairplay, myself, Matt Bischoff, Gabe Ortiz from Survivor 47, Philip Solomon from Dondi Season 2, my good friend and fellow podcaster, Lauren Pratt. We all are on here. Wayne Mimit, comedian mastermind. We're all on here usually talking about the show, but everyone's at a premiere party. Unlike myself, I got to be here to run the show. Someone's got to, pick up the slack, especially on premiere night. I was like, guys, it's premiere night. You know who's not taking the night off to go to a premiere party? Rob Sesternino. So please, we got to have some kind of content out there. So we will have more content through the week. So definitely check that out. Getting my Couch Critic episodes ready to go. I'm going all in this season on Couch Critic. Be ready for those. So if you hit that subscribe button, you will be notified when those videos get posted and when we go live to talk more about Survivor throughout the week. So pay attention to your notifications. Have them turned on because we will have a lot more Survivor coverage with all of those guys and myself throughout the weeks. All right. So let's get to the next one. Humane says, Mike White second voted off because I don't like the name of his show I never watched. Okay. Mike White's actually not in a bad spot, but I don't love Mike's opportunity to go very far in this game because of the fact that this guy is a multimillionaire. I know there's the part of people that are like, well, I could get on White Lotus. Cool. Like, so you're a background character. Are you really going to give up $1 million opportunity to have someone there that's going to give you 5 seconds of fame when you could have, 15 minutes of fame on Survivor by getting far and winning it all? I think that will eventually trump the whole Mike White getting on White Lotus, but it is tempting. And I mean, I said this before, guys, and if you guys are new here, I definitely have talked about this in the past. Mike White might have the best pregame strategy we have ever seen from any contestant by putting people on his hit show where it's a major success, and these people from his former cast are people he puts in the show and even have speaking lines in the show. Is there ever been a better preseason strategy for social strategy than that? Like, realistically, is there anyone else that has done something even close to that? I think it's the best pregame strategy you could have ever done, and I think it's genius. I don't know if he intentionally did it. I don't think he did, but who knows? But it's pretty freaking funny. All right, so Dia Nicole says, I think this may be the most social Colby has ever been in a season, and as long as he can pull in Rizzo, his alliance is still on top, even with 2 lost votes. I think that's where we're going. I think you nailed it right there. I think we saw the turnaround on Rizzo because they know they're going to need Rizzo and they pull Rizzo in. I 100% agree with you, especially losing Kyle. They're going to need that 5th person, especially for numbers. And with 2 people not having votes in their alliance, I completely agree with you. I think we saw that character arc with Rizzo because he's the person they bring in. I think you nailed it on the head. I think it'd be very smart of them. Now, will they do that? We'll see. I think Colby has the opportunity, especially with his back against the wall with no vote, and the way he's developed that relationship with Rizzo, even though we've only seen a little bit of it. I think that is where the show is trying to lead us, and I think it'll be really good. I'm excited to see Colby and Rizzo play with each other. Like we're talking someone from season 2 who wasn't the most socially aware or strategic minded, I should say, to someone who we just saw in 49 that was very strategic minded and had a good social game. Let's see them play together. I'm excited for it. Brendan Gaines, my good buddy. How you doing, man? Thank you for checking this out. I know you're at a bar right now watching the episode, so I hope you enjoyed it. Block a vote for Savannah. Yeah, so it was block a vote. Thank you for reminding me. The block a vote is very interesting. I'm not a huge fan of these like steal a vote, block a vote, extra vote. Extra vote maybe a little bit more, but like the block of vote, I feel like once again that's always such a like unique situation for that to pan out the way you want it to, that I always kind of am interested to see them add that to the game. I feel like I'd rather have something maybe not super powerful, but something that's going to be a little bit more advantageous to use early than something that they could just hold on to, like a block of vote. Kate the Great says Savannah got the secret block of vote that you play before tribal, like Stevens last season, and we saw how that panned out, right? Like it's never. You have to be very aware of the voting dynamics and where the situation lies for it to pan out. We saw with Steven, it didn't, pan out the way that he wanted it to. Mike White shredded was a surprise to everyone, considering his cast photo once again looked like he was high out of his mind. He still might be. But yeah, no, I mean it was complete surprise, and I'm glad he's putting in the effort. He's not just phoning it in for the season 4 of White Lotus promotion, which I think is filming right now. If I do recall, I think they're currently filming White Lotus season 4 right now. So we'll see how that pans out. Wonder what he thinks of the season as a whole. Is Kyle a lock for Winners at War 2? I don't think we're getting a Winners at War 2. I'll be honest with you guys. If we do, it's not for a long, long time. I personally contest that I think the next season we get, like that's a returnee season or a themed, God forbid, a themed season. I think the next one's going to be New Era All-Stars. And it kind of sucks in the fact that we have half the cast here that is New Era. And a lot of them would have been people that probably would have been brought back for New Era All-Stars. But I think that's more along the lines of where we would go, or some sort of like a Game Changers 2 or something, or even Heroes versus Villains 2. Like I could see that before I'd see Winners at War, just because I think a lot of the winners that came back for Winners at War don't want to play again, or would be very hard to pull in to bring in again. I think that they wouldn't love that. And we all know that season 40 originally was supposed to be Rivals, and a lot of people got contacted for Rivals. So then, they ended up switching it to Winners at War. So I would even like to see Rival season come out. Like Rival season would be a lot of fun. Don't know if we'll get a theme, but I think New Era All-Stars, something to that effect, Heroes, Villains 2, Rivals, like I think that's more what we would see. But I do think Kyle is absolutely someone they could call back, especially since he was playing so well and just had this unfortunate injury happen. Imagine getting rage baited by my Wii. It is rage bait because it's the Vikings. I get it. Bobby, don't feel bad. I beat the Packers in 2 NFC championships. Definitely way too New Era heavy, but Rizzo and Savannah isn't the issue for me. 100%. Like, if anything, I'm more pissed off that they brought 3 people back from season 48. Like, if we really want to get into it, I don't think they should have 3 people back from any season. Even David versus Goliath, like I think we would have been fine with 2 at most. I think there's a lot of great seasons that were left out. I don't think it's a perfect representation of 50 seasons. I felt like we could have had more. But I like I said, this cast is growing on me, so I'm excited to see it pan out. Mike White could try to use bribery if he wants it bad enough. Don't think he would do that. I mean, I don't hold it against him. I think he could definitely do that. I think he possibly might if he really gets his back against the wall or sees it coming. But at the end of the day, I think these players are smart enough to realize there's way too much money on the line. There's way too much, future wealth for their families, for their, everything they want to bring home for financial security, that while it might be nice and it still could happen where you could go on the White Lotus, it doesn't mean just because you win the money or you vote him out, you might not be, have a chance to go on there. I think you have a better chance than the fact that you played with them. But I don't think it's going to be an absolute hindrance to him. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Block a vote is good for 8 people. So in this case, I think it works, but I don't know if I love it this early on in the game, right? Like, Yes, I like it more than 6 for sure. By the way, does anyone else really like the fact that it's 8 people tribes? Like, I love it so much more than 6. Like, I'm gonna go on the record and say, I want every season to be 24 people. I want every season to be 8 people per tribe. Obviously, ideally, 2 tribes would be where we would go. I'm not saying that. 2 tribes would be the ideal format, but 6 people tribes is just not enough. It's not enough people. There's nowhere to hide. It really is too predictable. I think watching this first episode and seeing the tribe dynamics where there were outs for people in different directions and things can happen to propel you going forward where you're not just immediately screwed or not immediately in the majority. I love that so much more. Maybe that's why I'm so high on this episode, because we didn't get to the point where it was like, okay, well, we know who's basically screwed the rest of the game, right? Like in every single tribe, there's not one person I'm like, oh, their game is already completely tanked through one episode. And that's by no doing of their own. It's just these 4 people formed something really early on, and that's pretty much it, unless a miracle happens. Like 8 people tribes, even though it's just 2 more people per tribe, adds so much more dynamic to the game. I hope Survivor learns from this, sees that this is a success with 8 people tribes and people like it. And I think we should definitely propel that to CBS. Let them know, let us be heard that we like the 8 people tribes. And maybe I'm on an island here. Maybe you guys don't like it. Obviously, I said it here. I think the 2-person tribes is ideal, or excuse me, 2 tribes is ideal opposed to 3. But if you're going to have 3, I think 8 people tribes is perfect. I think that's exactly what it should be. It gives people availability to move around, but I just hope that, because we know that they added more because they wanted to fit as many people as they could onto 50. I hope they see this as a success and do 24 people casts. I really hope so. I'll go to my grave saying that season 40 should have been Heroes versus Villains 2 and Winners at War, in my opinion, is very overrated and definitely hurt the trajectory of the show overall. I don't disagree with you. I was not a huge fan of season 40 of Winners at War. I do think that we were really excited for a all winner season and to see it play out. I don't think it lived up to the hype, but I also think a part of that was because of the whole extinction island of extinction too, or yeah, that's what it was. But like, obviously no one loved that concept for the game. I understood why they had to do it for Winners of War, because they wanted to keep these big names around and at least give them an opportunity to come back into the game. But I do think that I would have been much more here for Heroes versus Villains 2. And it all just depends on the cast. It really does. Watch BB4, and it's the easiest season I could have won out of from Final 8 or Final 7 for BB4. Well, there was a lot of pre-existing relationships there. Agreed. It is too early, and yeah, 8 people tribes is great. Exactly. I think 8 people tribes is where it's at, and I think they should do that going forward. AU Survivor, and I haven't started AU Survivor. I've had a lot going on this week. My kid, unfortunately, my 5-year-old daughter has a walking pneumonia. We've all been dealing with some kind of illness for the last like 2.5 weeks. This was actually the first night I actually feel pretty much like myself again, which thank God for that, because I had to go on here. Obviously, I'm coughing a little bit, so my throat's not 100%, but it's so much better than it was. So, like I said, I've had a lot going on, so I haven't been able to fully catch up. So no spoilers in the chat for AU Survivor if you guys can. AU Survivor is normally 24 people. I think 2 tribes of 12, but 3 tribes of 8 is awesome. Obviously, ideally, 2 tribes of 12 is what I would want every time. Hell, even 2 tribes of 10. If you got a good 20 people cast, whatever. 2 tribes of 10, I'll take it. But 3 tribes of 8, if you're going to have the 3 tribe format, this is it. This is 100% better than 3 tribes of 6. It just is so much better. I hope they continue it. I really do. I hope this is something they see and is like, okay, this was a success from season 50. Hell, if we get nothing else from season 50, hopefully the tribes of 8 is what it really shows them that, okay, maybe we need to keep this many people going forward. They don't care about the fans. I think most fans don't care if the show is filth as long as it's on TV. 100%. Like, let's be real. Even in the darkest days of Survivor, we all keep coming back. I think that this will be a big, big indicator going forward that they're gonna get a lot of eyes on them for 50 because it is that hallmark season, and there are all these big names like Suri, like Colby, what have you, on this season, that it's gonna bring back people that maybe trailed off. Hell, I know a bunch of people that stopped watching a new era but are coming back for 50 because it's 50 and the cast is great. The big names are great. So I hope this propels Survivor into the new era, 51 and up. But if this season flops, I'm really nervous for the show going forward. I really am. The AU tribes of 12 people are hard to track sometimes, but that is also an effect of their editing. I think it's more an effect of their editing than it is them actually like having a hard time tracking, right? Like I like I said earlier, like I think 2 tribes of 10 is better. Cut out a couple people, but having said that, I would take that over 3 tribes of 6 any day. Like I get it. The one thing that AU has always struggled, and I don't get me wrong, I think AU is great. At times it's even better than the US version. You heard it here. But I think the thing that they've always done worse than what Survivor US really does well is capturing the character development pretty evenly. Where on AU, you might have 1 or 2 characters that don't speak the entire season until like 5 or 6 episodes in. And they have more freaking episodes. Like, how are you not dividing up that airtime more between even the people that aren't going to win the game or don't go far? And you have more episodes. Like, how is that a thing? How do you guys not split up the airtime enough? So that's one thing with AU Survivor I really don't love, is that they highlight their characters, their big names, but don't give any airtime so you have an idea of who's not going to do well. And I think that really is the one aspect that hurts the show. There's a lot they do right, and I'm nitpicking here, but they could do better about showing more people throughout the season and more character development of those people, that even if they don't get further, we at least have the mystery in our mind of who is going to be the one on the outs. And I think US Survivor does a lot better with that. So even these people like a Nicole, like a Tiffany, like a Emily, like a Aubrey and Angelina, what have you, they didn't get a lot of airtime. Stephanie, even to an extent, they didn't get a lot of airtime in this episode. Charlie, but I feel like the show is going to portray them at certain points more than what Australian Survivor does with their cast. 1 tribe of 18 is basically Big Brother on Survivor meta, but with Survivor meta. I mean, yeah, I obviously we saw what happened with One World, and I'm not here for One World 2.0. I think 1 tribe sucks. I think 2 tribes ideal, as long as the airtime split up, and 3 tribes of 8. If you're gonna have 3, 8 is where it's at. So excuse me. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about this episode, we're going to definitely talk more with Fairplay and with the others when they come back throughout this weekend. I think in the next couple of days, we'll have a lot more content for Survivor. I just wanted to come on here with you guys and at least have some content for the premiere. So I hope you appreciate it. I hope you guys liked getting your questions read live here on stream. If you guys like this concept, if you want more of it like this, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of me just going live by myself, trying to, spitball. I tried, by the way, guys, if you don't know this, I tried for days to get a Survivor, anyone to come on with me, and everyone's at premiere parties right now. So, the show must go on, as they say in the show business. And so that's why I'm here. So I at least can give you guys some content, some resource for your fandom. So I hope you appreciate that. And I'm just overall very excited about this season. I loved the first episode. I think there's a lot of things that I'm kind of on, but I also think that there's a lot that's very good and a lot I'm very excited about. And I hope that Survivor uses some of these ideas, some of them, not all of them, to keep going with that in the future. So I'm going to read the last few comments on here. Overall, great premiere, just a disappointing ending, but it's not on the show, just a bad break. Exactly. And, pun intended, I guess there. But yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. I think that obviously not how they would want it to pan out with the injury and losing someone from season 1, but you got to let the players play the game. If that's how it pans out, that's how it pans out. More lives. I love this format. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate Kate the Great. You're always awesome. So thank you so much for your comments here. And Humane, going live alone is low-key nostalgic from afternoon streams. The afternoon streams, for those that used to watch my afternoon streams, I've taken hiatus just because it was a lot. And I just had a lot going on, and it was hard to just keep up with the grind. But if you are a fan of my, standalone live streams that I do here on the channel, they will be back for Big Brother. All season of Big Brother, I'm going to go heavy on streaming, heavy going live, reading your guys' comments live here on stream. So definitely for Big Brother, because that's what I really can go all in on and have a lot more to say, because there are live feeds and what have you. And I feel like there's a lot more people in here that know me from my Big Brother coverage that will definitely come into effect when it comes to the chat, and keeps the chats lively. I think, and we can kind of go on there and also like watch live on episodes or live feeds and have watch parties and what have you. So Big Brother is definitely a better format for my live streaming quality. I kind of realized that after the season ended, and that's kind of why I took a step back. So that will be back when Big Brother season comes around. So definitely that's not over, guys. I'm just taking a hiatus because it's hard to come up with content to talk about and maintaining the audience when Big Brother's not going on. It's definitely, you can see the influx if you look at my numbers where people loved the content when I was going live for Big Brother content. So that will be back. And also we'll be back, which hopefully we'll do as well as the one episode I've done in the past is Couch Critic. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing more Couch Critic stuff. That's like a standalone thing here on the channel, usually like a 5 to 15 minute video of me kind of making funny little remarks and little clips and stuff from the episode. So definitely check that out. I gotta figure out how not to get it demonetized, but I'm working on it, and I'm very excited for it. It's a lot of work on my end. Also, if you guys haven't seen it, go check out on Instagram. You can find my Instagram. Let me move this out of the way real quick. At Goodsby Bobby. I did a Survivor 50 promo for the channel. And I loved how it turned out. I thought it was hilarious. Actually, if you guys want me to, I can play it right now. I have it right here. If you guys want to see it, if you haven't seen it already, I've got a promo for Reality After Show for our Survivor 50 promotion. Let me just read a couple more comments. So you guys let me know if you want to see that real quick. Thanks, Bobby. Looks forward to your Traders finale tomorrow night. And we will have coverage right here on the channel immediately following the episode, talking all things Traders finale. Very much so looking forward to that. BB28 should be better by default. No hope. We'll see. So real quick, as we go out, for those that want to see it, it's a quick little video. Well, it's not quick. It's like 2 minutes, but you can check it out. And then I will sign off here. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment afterwards, letting me know what you thought of this content and what you thought of the episode. Hopefully, no haters get into the chat like usual. But yes, I put a lot of work into this channel, doing everything production wise. So I hope you guys appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to Survivor 50, and I can't wait to share these moments with you guys throughout the season. So with that being said, here is the full version of our Survivor 50 promo. I hope you guys enjoy.
We always up to the next day morning, with all the chemicals worn out, make me feel good now. I be drowning, you so thirsty, couldn't care less how much it hurts me. Alright, so I'm right back now. We can fall back.
So yeah, that was our Survivor 50 promo. Hope you guys liked it. That was a long version. I have a shorter version on social media. That was a bit long, but I put a lot of hard work into that. And I know it's cheesy, I know it's silly, but we have fun here at Reality After Show. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Give us a like, give us a sub, leave a comment, and hope you guys follow the rest of our Survivor coverage, Beast Games coverage, Traders coverage right here at Reality After Show. With that being said, thanks to everyone who was in the chat, and we will see you guys with the next episode in a couple days with more Survivor 50 coverage. Bye, guys.